Qatar 2022 is well underway. We've seen the opening game. We've seen England play, but I'm not here to talk about them. And yes, I know I'm wearing a Nigeria top, but I'm doing it because I'm there. We're there in spirit. We're there for one reason: to hate on Ghana, to hate on Cameroon. As much as I want to see African teams win, I don't want to see one win over Nigeria, like that. So let me talk about two groups, though. I'm here to talk about two groups, and one of them is Group G with Brazil and Group H with Portugal, and we know what's going on with Cristiano Ronaldo and all the noise. But first, let me get into Brazil. For me, Brazil are probably the top two favorite in this competition. I think Brazil and Argentina are the two favorites for this competition. The tournament really, the trophy really should be coming back to South America. It's been 20 years since a team has brought it home. And that was, of course, Brazil with R9, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, all of them. But you guys have seen my episode with Lies previously talking about Neymar's legacy, what this could mean for him. So I'm not going to overkill you guys with that information. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. However, there is a lot of stuff that hasn't really been spoken about, that I haven't spoken about on camera. And that's what Brazil actually have in and around Neymar. So they've got Vinny. We know they got Vinny. They got Richarlison. They've got Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, Casemiro, Alisson. I think it's such a good blend of experience and youth. The team has never been more ready in this time that we're talking about Neymar this, Neymar that. This is the first time for me Neymar has been given a team which is actually ready to compete on all fronts. And we've seen them win the Copa America. We've seen them get to the next Copa America final and lose to Argentina. And now it's time for them to make a massive name for themselves at the World Cup. I don't actually think there's much excuse for this nation. We can say, 2014, there was an injury to Neymar and that embarrassing loss against Germany happened. 2018, maybe we can say it was before their time. But 2022, as we are standing here now, it's hard to say there's a team stronger than Brazil. But I want to talk about one particular player that I think, his inclusion. So when the Brazil team were doing their call-outs, his name got mentioned and Neymar did a bit of a, you sure? And that is Gabriel Martinelli. Now, some people are saying that he's going to ride the bench. He's not going to get much minutes. I've seen some training videos. He's looking on fire. He's looking sharp. I've heard there's been talks that Vinicius might not even start. I think Martinelli is someone who could potentially have a top World Cup and explode on the world stage. And yes, look, some people are going to say he plays for Arsenal. What do you mean that he's exploding on the world stage? This is global. The World Cup is global. The attention is different. Yes, Premier League fans know what Martinelli is on. And I'm sure some of the locals in Brazil know what he's on. But it's time for him to have one of those breakthrough tournaments. And I'm putting him as one of my players to watch. He's got everything that you need for me to be successful at international level. So I'm looking at him closely. And I'm actually going to be excited to see if he can nail down that starting spot. As I said, I could be saying all of this and he might not even get on the pitch. As much as I'm talking about Brazil, they are not in a group which I would say is easy. Brazil are in a group with Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Now, you might hear those names and think, of course Brazil are going to wash them. But Serbia, they were actually unbeaten in the whole qualifying stages for the World Cup. That included a group with Portugal. They are actually the ones that scored in the 90th minute, Mitrovic, to make Portugal go to the qualifiers and play against whoever they played against to get to the World Cup. Serbia have the right blend of solidity, and we know what the Serbians are about. Listen, you getting a 50-50 with them, you try to get shoulder to shoulder, they're moving to you. Them man are eating raw meat. The Eastern European, you don't wanna mix it with them, you know what I'm saying? Them man fight bears in their sleep. They fight bears. they fight bears. I'm telling you now, so listen, they've got Mitrovic, they got Milinkovic-Savic, they got Vlahovic, they got Jovic, they got Tadic, who's the captain of the side. These are very well-known players in the game. Some people even are backing Vlahovic to be the top goal scorer of the tournament. I can actually see something like that happening. I can actually see it. But, if anyone knows my content and knows Culture Cams, you will know Big Mitro is my boy. You know what I mean? Real men. You see this team, Serbia? Real men. That's why I'm running with them. That's why I'm running with Serbia. I'm telling you, they are my dark horses for the tournament. So they've got goals in the team. They've got solidity. They've got creativity. They've got quality. They've got everything I think you need to have a deep run and surprise people. You know, Brazil, yeah, okay, I think they're probably going to top the group. But Serbia, I think, are going to make some noise. And they've got each other in the first game. And don't be surprised, people, to see that end in a draw. Don't be surprised to see Serbia even nick something. It's going to be very interesting. Then you move on to Switzerland. Some of you, again, might think, oh, Switzerland, like, now you're just trying to force it. Switzerland actually conceded the least goals in the whole World Cup qualifiers. So that shows that they have a solid foundation and a solid base. And look, if you don't concede many goals in the World Cup, you have a good chance of going far in the tournament. You know, I've seen Spain win the World Cup by 1-0. 1-0 this, 1-0 that, 0-0 here, penalty shootout here. The World Cup isn't all about like blitzing teams and winning 4-5-0. It's rare that you actually see that. It's rare that you see teams get absolutely hammered in the World Cup or a team go on a consistent run and just do it. I don't even think France did that when they won in 2018. Yes, the final was a comprehensive scoreline. However, it wasn't really like smashing teams all the way through to the tournament. So don't be surprised to see Switzerland maybe make some noise. I do think they will just fall short in this group. However, listen, anything can happen in a World Cup. I've seen some crazy things. I've seen South Korea go to the quarterfinals. I've seen Cameroon get to the quarterfinals. We saw what Ghana did in 2010. Anything can happen. And that leads me last to Cameroon, who, shout out to production. He's still, Liège production. You guys know Liège is my production. He's still burning. And they sent Algeria, Mahrez and them man packing. You know what I mean? Listen, where's the capital homeland of Algeria? Algiers hype. They sent them back to Algiers. Do you know what I'm saying? Them man are on holiday watching Cameroon in this group. But listen, Cameroon for me they're not a great side. I mean, I saw them in the AFCON. They weren't too impressive. I saw them in the qualifiers against Algeria. Maybe you can say it was a bit of luck. What was it? It was like the latest kick I've ever seen in a game. And they nicked it. So maybe Cameroon, I wouldn't expect anything to pop up. But shout out to Abu Bakr. Top tier hater. He's rivaling me. Me and him are going to have a hate off one day. I'm telling you. See who wins that one. Because his hate for Mo Salah is hilarious. I'm not part of that hate for Mo Salah. You know what I'm saying? But his hate for Mo Salah... But his hate for Mo Salah is generational. I mean, he's just bringing up the guy unprovoked. Next 1 second, he doesn't impress me. Then he comes back like, listen, I told you guys, he don't impress me. Get off my back. He doesn't care what anyone has to say about it. So, hilarious guy. Looking forward to seeing him at the World Cup. But yes, for this group, Group G, I'm going to go Brazil to top the group, Serbia to finish second, Switzerland third, Cameroon fourth. I think that's how this group is going to go. But as I said, Serbia are my dark horses for the tournament. Now let's move on to Group H. There's a lot of storylines in this group. And that is why I like this group. Group H, you look at it, they got Portugal. That storyline writes itself. As I said, me and Liège did an episode on Messi and we did an episode on Neymar together. Everything you say about Messi, copy and paste for Cristiano Ronaldo. We're talking about somebody who we call a GOAT. And they just did that amazing picture. Please, production, I need to see that picture. They had that amazing chess picture. And I'm thinking, are you guys playing for who hasn't turned up at the World Cup more? I don't know, like, I'm joking. But it was a great picture. But we know with Portugal, it's all about Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's been in 5 tournaments. And as I said, other than the Spain hat-trick, which is an iconic hat-trick because just of the moment, I don't think he's been good at World Cups, personally, in my opinion. Have Portugal had the sides that you can say are ready to win World Cups? No. 2006, I think that was his best World Cup. And that's 2006. This is when he hasn't even really exploded onto the scene yet. And that, for me, performance-wise, was his best World Cup. So overall, I just think Ronaldo has not delivered enough. And he had that big interview. He said, Man United do this, Man United do that. The only way for him to kind of walk away from this interview with his chest even higher is by having a good World Cup. Every Man United fan are gonna just be like, damn, look at what we're missing. Because apparently, his contract's gonna get terminated, blah, blah, blah. Ronaldo has to turn up at this tournament as much as Messi has to turn up at this tournament. 0 goals in the knockout stages. 0. We're talking about a GOAT. We're talking about one of the best players of all time. 0 goals in the knockout stages. I can't say this about Messi and not say this about Ronaldo. Ronaldo, you must deliver. You told Piers you're feeling good mentally, physically. You're going to have a special World Cup. The world is watching, man. The world is watching. Next up, as I mentioned, Rafael Leao. Listen, I need to see you turn up because everyone's telling me you're the guy. Everyone's telling me you're this amazing super player, next £100 million player. Can I see some impact, please? I'm watching close. I need to see you make impact. Lea's my production. He's got all the stocks in Leao. As I said, I'm watching closely. I haven't made my judgment yet. World Cup. This is the time to deliver. So Portugal, with the squad that they have, they can win this tournament. However, with the management, I just think when I watch Portugal, they are honestly one of the most boring teams in the world. They stink. I'll be very honest. They should have won their group. They didn't. Serbia did. When I watch them, I'm just like, no way you have all these talents and this is what you're doing on the pitch. It's not impressive for me. So I didn't even name Neves and Nunes and these type of players that they have in the camp. Unbelievable team. So Portugal, Fernando Santos, please rise. And the reason why I say this tournament has so many narratives is because you've got a Uruguay who we know have produced amazing strikers over the years. Forlan, Suarez, Cavani, the list goes on. But there's one man now who's in, you'll probably say, I want to say his prime or his peak, but he's ready to step up for that void that maybe Suarez might leave because he's not at, we know Suarez not in his peak. We know Forlan's not there. Cavani, we know these guys are not in their peak. So you look at Darwin Núñez. Again, he's on my list of ones to watch. I got Martinelli on there. I got Leao on there. I got Darwin on there. I actually think Darwin will be good odds. Listen, I ain't trying to tell you guys to bet, but I actually think he might be good odds to end up somewhere on this top goal scorers chart. The guy is a nuisance. The guy is a problem. And overall, the guy scores goals. Darwin Núñez scores goals. He's a bagsman. And with the players like Valverde, Bentancur, Godin, Jimenez, they've got a solid foundation and they've got a very, very good team. And it's not just solid, it's mixed with quality as well. So I'm very much looking forward to Uruguay, man. I'm very much looking forward to them. They are so many teams, so many people's dark horse now. You know what I mean? As the tournaments start coming, dark horse. So they've actually got a little bit of pressure. Like, there is pressure to go and win a tournament. But when everyone sees you as this surprise nation, there's a bit of pressure on you as well. Remember Turkey in the last tournament? Everyone's like, oh, Turkey got they finished dead last. They were the worst team in the damn tournament. As I said, Darwin Núñez, one to watch. Valverde, arguably, you can argue he might have been best midfielder in the world this season. Bentancur, what he's doing in the Premier League at the moment, top notch. So let's see what they got. And as I said, this group is made for narratives. This group is the narrative group, Group H. And the reason why I said I'm going to get onto this team now is Ghana. Ghana hype. We know, hey, if it wasn't for our damn meddling goalkeeper, we would be at the World Cup. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't going to be bitter. Ghana, you have one objective this tournament. Just one. You ain't winning the World Cup. We know this. Dark horse hype? I don't think so. You have one objective this tournament. Avenge your ancestors. Avenge Asamoah Gyan. Avenge that crop of 2010. You have Uruguay. We know what Luis Suarez did. He is still here. Suarez is still here to see this day. If Ghana do not beat Uruguay, you failed your ancestors, man. You failed your ancestors. Asamoah Gyan he's watching from the rafters like Sting. He's like, avenge me. You've got to do it. That's your only objective, Ghana. Beat Uruguay, please. Everything else, I'm not even going to put any pressure on you. Just beat Uruguay. Then move on to South Korea. Lastly, South Korea, you remember what they did in 2002. Listen, now, if I go into that, I might get this account locked off. Do you know what I mean? I might get this account locked off. But they had an interesting, fun run, which I'm actually hoping Qatar do. You know what I mean? I'm hoping a little deep run, interesting, home nation kind of vibe. There's not really much to say about South Korea. They're a decent side. They're a good team. And we know they've got their main man, Son, carrying the nation. He's obviously someone that I'm very familiar with, and I'm sure we're all familiar with. He's scored goals in the Champions League. He scores goals internationally. He scores goals in the Premier League. So with someone like that, you've always got a chance. He did carry a little bit of an injury towards the back end of the Premier League season. So hopefully his eye injury or whatever it was is sorted and he's able to get out there. I'm hearing that he might play with a mask. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, we've seen mask LeBron James. We've seen mask Kyrie. You know what I mean? Some guys put on a mask and they start acting different. Osimhen, we've seen it. So there ain't really any excuse. I hope Son turns up. And for me, he's having an absolutely terrible season with Spurs. So at least, you know, put some respect back on your name. Drive South Korea. And let's see, maybe you can surprise. Because apart from, you would probably say Portugal, Uruguay, Ghana, and South Korea, it's not so straightforward. Guys, that was another episode of FTBL Culture. It's your boy Culture Cams. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn the notifications on. This World Cup, we are basically going to be doing content every damn day. So you need your notifications on. We're going to be filling up your timeline. That's another episode, and I'm out.